Hello and welcome to Sunday evening, and I've just watched season 30 episode 1 of the new Top Gear. So I'm just going to do something I haven't done in a very long time. I'm going to do a quick review of that episode. So here goes. First of all, the most important thing, I have my cup of tea and I have a biscuit. Do you dunk? Can't believe I missed my mouth. I should try that again. Well, what can we say? Well, I have to say initially I like the fact that they've embraced the lockdown. Good setting. I like the way they've set it out. A little bit disappointed that they've still got Freddie Flintoff there. However, as the episode progressed, I was quite impressed with that he's not so much of a child as he was. I'm hoping there's been some serious feedback and they've acted on that, because he wasn't as much of a bellend as he usually is. I don't know what it is about him, it's just too childish. Now I know the old Top Gear was childish, but it was childish in three grown-up men being a bit daft, whereas this was just three grown-up men with two of them picking on the little one and one of them being just a bit childish. So it didn't do it for me originally, but I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised. It actually came across quite well. And what an opening! Fords, classic Fords no less. When he said Cortina, I was hoping it was going to be a Mark III, because as you may or may not know, I had a Mark III for a very long time. Very special to me, so much so that when I got rid of it, I couldn't bear to see anyone else own it. And I scrapped the chassis and got rid of all the parts rather than see someone else own it. In hindsight, should never have done it, but there you go. It was quite a few years ago now. Anyway, great to see. And also that BMW. Now, I know the person very well who owned that BMW and sold it to Top Gear. So I was hoping for his sake that they weren't going to trash it, modernise it in what they usually do, or blow it up or something stupid, or at least thrash it within an inch of its life. But no, they didn't, and that was quite pleasant to see. What was also pleasant to see is that perhaps Freddie has had some driving lessons, or he has improved somewhat, because he seemed to be driving a lot better, and Paddy also, to be fair, than they were in previous seasons. So hopefully they've been doing some off-air training. It seems like they have, because it's paid off. Well done on that front. I suppose I've got a bit more respect for them now. Yeah. What was also interesting was the lap. Now, I say interesting because I don't know if it actually was a hit. I get the concept, sitting on Dad's lap whilst driving, whilst Dad operates the pedals and child operates the steering. But I don't think it was as funny as I thought it was going to be. It was okay, but not awesome. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below whether you thought that was a good thing, a laugh, and whether I'm just missing the mark here. See what I did there? So, on to the Lamborghini Sian, or Sian, or whatever they want to call it. What an epic looking car, and an epic sounding car. Certainly true Lamborghini, mental in every single way. However, I wonder, as Chris was hinting at, whether they've called it a hybrid just for the sake of them saying, look, we've built a hybrid, so can we build it and still be okay, please, with modern society? Because it's not really much of a hybrid, is it? I know it's got all that modern technology, and what did they call it? Supercapacitor, I believe. Yes, a supercapacitor. Sounds like something straight out of Back to the Future. But with 800 horsepower, a bit faster than 88 miles an hour, maybe 188 miles an hour, and then the tyres will light up and zip into 1982, when the best cars were around. All that sort of era. Anyway, yeah, so to me, it's more of an excuse to put the word hybrid, I've got to stop using air quotes, I hate that, hybrid in the title rather than it actually being a proper hybrid, because it's just as bonkers and nuts and maybe a little bit of hybridism, should be a word, in there without it actually being a hybrid. So clever play there for you to be able to be seen as making a hybrid car when you're actually not. But what an epic car, albeit ridiculously pointless and expensive. After that, they went back to the dad section, which was a little bit of just normal driving. Okay, great. Again, glad they didn't do something stupid to ruin the cars. But then, they turned up at the rallying stage. 3 Mark II Escorts. Superb, great rally cars, although I really do think they missed a trick here. One was having the Stig in a Metro 6R4. Again, an epic car. But it's hardly a comparison, is it? Put the Stig, I mean, let's be honest, it is in true Top Gear style, a complete uncomparative comparison. Uncomparative? Non-comparative? Incomparative? One of them. Not comparative. There we go, let's go with that. But, I mean, I have my doubts, and I don't know if you thought the same thing, but I have some serious doubts whether some of those external drifting shots were actually performed by Freddie and Paddy. More so Freddie. Because some of the internal shots they were doing, they looked like they just sort of drove around corners and they're probably far too boring. So they stuck in a bit of a professional driving to make it look like they were drifting it. I don't think they were. I may be wrong, but it just seemed a bit too good for how they usually drive based on seeing the internal shots of them going around corners. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but what did you think on that? Also, again, as I say, what they should have done is put the Stig in a Mark II Escort, then made it comparative. That's got to be a word. Comparable. I'm usually good at this. Bearing in mind it is 9:30 now on a Sunday night. And I'm tired. I know I'm tired because the corner of my left eye is starting to flicker. It's really annoying. Hope you can't pick it up on camera. Anyway, yeah, that was good. Although, again, I think it could have been a bit more exciting. None of them crashed, which, again, was good. But maybe that was because they were driving a bit too slow. Apart from Chris. Chris does rather well. In all, it was a good episode, I think. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't brilliant. But it was good. However, I think that was more down to the cars than the actual content. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being biased. I mean, I know the original trio, you know, and I'm going to say their names, Clarkson, Hammond and May, have set the bar very, very high. And I know it became very scripted and very daft at the end. But they were still a well-gelled machine. And it worked. And I don't know if these 3 work as well. And I know it's a different program altogether, but they are still a car program-ish. Perhaps actually more of a car program than towards the end the other 3 were. But the atmosphere amongst the 3 and the atmosphere in the little videos they do is just not as tight and not as exciting. And I don't think I would have enjoyed it with different cars. Time will tell, because obviously there's another episode next week and we'll see what that comes out like. But other than that, it was an okay episode. However, I would like to add, I'm glad they put in memory of Murray Walker, who of course sadly died yesterday, March the 13th. Very sad. I remember growing up watching Murray Walker, listening to Murray Walker, Formula One, when I was into Formula One back in the 80s and early 90s, when Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna and Nelson Piquet and all those kind of drivers were driving. And of course touring cars as well, I think he did, and I'm sure he did some bike stuff as well. However, talking about bike stuff, I am quite intrigued. When they showed the little montage at the beginning of the episode, it looks like they're going to be riding 3 bikes. That I'm quite excited about, as long as they can all ride. And it's a good episode. And it's not just about the bikes. So come on, let's see what you can do. And that is all we have time for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have some comments to leave in the comment section below. It's just a little interlude episode that I'm doing here before the next big episode we've got coming on Motors for the Masses, and hopefully you'll be along for that one too. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. If you want to support this channel, you can look at our Patreon and our Facebook shop where there's lots of things available to buy. And other than that, I hope you have a safe and interesting evening. And until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye bye.